and the management of ignorance.
Now, Plato sees no difference between wisdom and goodness. Are you suggesting that there's a third synonym, hygiene? And if so, why would you use that word?
That's an exciting question, Jim. Plato understands that for each concept, fundamental concept, there is also its, shall we say, its contrary. And he understands that whenever there's a high concept, high-minded concept like wisdom, there's also a very practical application of wisdom. And he juxtaposes to wisdom, he juxtaposes the concept hygiene. And that gives us, that allows us to redefine in our minds what exactly the word hygiene means.
I'm not sure I understand what you mean with that in connection with wisdom or goodness.
Well, because what is wisdom actually? Wisdom is the management of wisdom and non-wisdom. In other words, wisdom is fundamentally the management of the hygiene of the spirit.
I see. So you are, okay, all right. Let's go back to the medieval university. We've gotten off into Plato.
Yes.
How many students did the first university have, and who actually came up with it?
Universities were founded in the very first medieval university was founded in Bologna, Italy in 1088. And the second and third and fourth and fifth were founded as of 50 years later, the University of Montpellier in 1137, the University of Paris in approximately 1150, the University of Oxford in approximately 1167-68. These universities were in fact a collection of smaller schools, of smaller colleges that grouped themselves together because there were so many students, there were so many young people to manage. So they grouped themselves together, they organized the curriculum, they separated the different disciplines, the faculty of the arts, the faculty of theology, the faculty of the decree, what they call the faculty of the decree, which is actually the faculty of canon law, and the faculty of medicine. Those are the fundamental four faculties, the four universities. And each of these grouped together, according to the specificity of the individual colleges, they grouped together to form what is called the Studia Generalia, which is the primitive name of the university.
Now, in your earlier discussion, you talked about the 7 elements or the 7 types of liberal arts, and I don't recall theology or medicine as being 2 of those.
That's right.
Can you make the connection for me?
Surely.
Thank
now,
you.
the problem, and I repeat the word problem of the liberal arts, is of understanding the liberal arts, is that it became a canonized, more or less, it became a canon of 7 disciplines: arithmetic, music, geometry, astronomy, grammar, dialectics, logic, rhetoric. But the primitive, shall we say, the antique liberal arts were not a rigid corpus. They were, there was included medicine, there was included architecture, law was a part of the liberal arts. There was also what Plato called stereometria, or stereometry. That means not just the geometry, the study of the earth and the study of objects, but stereometry is a study of solid objects. Stereos in Greek meaning, of course, solid.
I guess I'm trying to understand Boethius' role in this then, because it was my understanding from you that he is the one that codified the 7 liberal arts that then became the basis of the modern university. But
I wouldn't say that he codified them. I would say that simply he espoused this codification, which was in fact done itself by St. Augustine, who died in the year 430. He wrote a treatise, St. Augustine, called De Ordine, and in this treatise, in Book 2, he actually codified, he actually determined, discussing the 7 fundamental disciplines useful for educational systems, and he actually codified them and put them into a sevenfold canon. And we owe this to, of course, St. Augustine, who lived approximately 80 to 100 years before Boethius.
Right, right, right. So the medieval university then took one of its four curricula and based it on Boethius, but then went off into theology, medicine.
That's exactly right.
Yes,
and
yes.
medicine and so forth.
Yes,
and
yes.
then as the university began to become more and more mature, it more and more disciplines came into its curriculum.
I understand the purpose of medicine is to train doctors. The purpose of theology is to train clergy. What is the purpose of training in the liberal arts?
Well, the liberal arts is for general culture. General culture is a value which is less tangible than medical value, than other values in the educational landscape. But general culture is something that allows you to retain the memory of what one calls the intellectual cultural heritage. It allows you to retain the memory of certain schools of thought. It allows you to retain the memory of a given spoken language. It allows you to retain the memory of things that are intangible but have a fundamental value within the management of and development of civilization.
We've covered a lot of ground already, Illo. This is fun. Could you summarize for me kind of where we are maybe, and then maybe we can move on to some other areas as well?
Yes, of course. Now, what we've discussed Boethius and his role, fundamental role in the helping of the process through which the university, the medieval university born out of the urban medieval society, would come about. And we are now discussing the liberal arts in a new light. The liberal arts, how they were relevant to the medieval university and how they are relevant to even today, to the university of today. And that's what we're going to talk about in two or three segments from now.
I look forward to that.